The Russian Sleep Deprivation Experiment. What happens if you don't sleep for a long time? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to this video, I'm Daniel. Let me tell you a story that includes gruesome details of what sleep deprivation can do to humans. Before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. This experiment took 15 days, so there's a question. How they could keep participants awake for 15 days? Here, the main purpose of the experiment is revealed. Go back to the 1940s, Russia, part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet scientists produced a stimulant gas that they thought helped people stay awake for a long time. The other main question is, what did they want to keep people awake? They needed to use it on their soldiers to enable them to stay awake longer just in case another war erupted after the Second World War. There is still an unanswered question. Where did this idea come from? Guess the answer. It's simple. Like every time, Hitler and Nazis. The Germans possessed a similar stimulant during the Second World War, methamphetamines, and the Americans and British militaries had devised ways to make their troops less sleepy. So the Russians needed to keep up. Fucking arms race. Here's the beginning of the experiment. After inventing the stimulant, the scientists had to test it on humans first. They selected 5 subjects from the prisoners of war and set up the experimenting place. It was a room that could be sealed. The stimulant gas would be pumped inside the room through a made opening. The gas could be replaced with fresh air when necessary. The question for me was, what if gas is addictive? The test result will answer this question. The test result is very shocking. So keep watching. The 30-day sleep experiment began. The subjects were each given food, a bed without any bedding, running water and a toilet. Researchers placed cameras inside the testing place to observe what was happening in the room from the outside. They knew what was going on, so they didn't want to go inside the room. The building was heavily sealed, that the only way one could peep inside was through 5-inch thick glass windows. For the first 3 days, the 5 men seemed to be doing fine. On the 4th day, the subjects started discussing their war experiences, including the traumatic things they had seen. On the 5th day, the subjects started showing signs of psychosis. They talked to themselves, experienced hallucinations, and became paranoid of each other. On day 9, one of the subjects started screaming uncontrollably. His screams were so painfully loud, and after a few hours, he stopped. None of the other subjects reacted as this happened. After a few more days, there was a deafening silence inside the testing room. The subjects were still alive, but completely lost. The researchers communicated to the subjects through the intercom that they would open the chambers and possibly free one of the men, but a voice from the room responded, "We no longer want to be freed." The researchers opened the vents to allow fresh air inside and remove the stimulant. As soon as they did that, the terrifying screaming started, and the men pleaded for more of the stimulant gas. On the 15th day, researchers opened the door and found one of the subjects dead. The dead body had been torn apart and disemboweled. The cellmates had ripped off pieces of skin from the dead man's arms and legs. His fingers' ends were exposed bones, and his face showed that the subjects had ripped off a lot of skin from the body. The floor was filled with many internal organs that the men had ripped off. And above that, the men were feeding on parts of their own bodies. The researchers called soldiers to help them to remove the men from the room, but one of the subjects tore a soldier's throat. A total of 5 soldiers died during the attempt. There was no way to calm them down. The doctors injected the subjects with morphine, but the men were still very violent. One of the subjects' heart stopped beating in the process, but they continued pleading for gas afterward. The remaining 3 survivors were moved to a secure place. Surgeons tried to replace the severely damaged organs back into the body of one of the subjects, but the man fought violently, and he died shortly after an anesthetic was administered into his body. So surgeons went on to try and perform the surgery on the next subject. This time they didn't use an anesthetic and the surgery was successful. The subject smiled throughout the surgery. And the last subject laughed out loud whilst surgeons replaced his organs, and he asked for the gas. His reason was that he needed it to stay alive. Researchers decided to put the surviving 2 men back on the stimulant gas. One of the subjects died shortly after, and one of the researchers shot the surviving subject. And realizing the subject was not dead yet, he asked him, "What are you?" The subject replied,
"Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you, all begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread."
The researchers shot the man again, and he finally died. The Russian Sleep Experiment is one of the most popular creepypastas to ever exist on the internet. It is so popular that some people regard this story as truth. But rest assured, there's no official record of a gas that could make men stay vague for 15 days. What about you? Do you think an experiment like this might have actually happened? Leave your comments. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. And don't miss my next post.